we're talking to Joe Krmpotvich, the chair of the United Way for 2010, and Garry ViPond, the CEO with United Way today, here on Sioux News Daytime. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The United Way, what a great cause. Tell us a little bit about why each of you got involved with the United Way.
Well, I got involved initially to be able to contribute back to the community, and because the United Way is such a good cause, and the money raised in our community stays in our community from the United Way. So, and it helps so many people. It helps. Actually, it's helping 1 in 3 people in our community, and it could be a neighbor, a co-worker, or even a family member.
Excellent.
And we know the needs there, so that's my way to contribute back to the community.
Wonderful, and we thank you for that. How about you, Garry?
Well, United Way is a great organization, and I was involved as a volunteer for a number of years. Before I came on staff, I actually was a canvasser at Algoma Steel many years ago, and I ended up doing some work. I was 4 years on the board, and I got to know the organization very well, and it was an organization that I felt was warranted further work on my behalf, and when an opportunity became available to work there as a staff, I applied for it, and thankfully was the successful candidate. It's very rewarding work, and there's always a lot of work to do. You never have to go in and say, gee, what am I going to do today? You know, you go in and there's lots of things that need to be done right away. So you're always busy. You always feel good about what's going on the job. So it's very satisfying.
Oh, that's so good. Now the campaign for this year is underway. When did it get launched, and how is it progressing?
Well, the campaign was launched on September 15th this year, and it's running through to December 10. So workplace campaigns were launched right across the community initially, and the annual year end, it ends in March 31st. So we're still gathering all the information that's coming in from the campaign from the various work sites, and things are progressing quite well. And if you want to maybe mention a comparison from this time at last year in comparing our campaigns, we might be just a little bit ahead of where we were at this time last year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and our target for this year is $1,255,000.
Wow.
And if I might add, last year we raised over 1.2 million, and it was the best campaign we had in, I believe it was 18 years.
Yeah. Oh, that is great to hear. Isn't that promising? Yeah. People willing to give and give back.
Yes.
Garry, you mentioned your work as a canvasser with the United Way a few years back. How important are canvassers to the organization today?
Well, canvassers are extremely important. As Joe mentioned, we have a number of workplace campaigns going on, and there's a lot of workplaces in the community, and in order to be able to connect with potential donors, we rely heavily on canvassers. The important thing, in my opinion, is that you need to be able to tell somebody what it is you're asking them to support. And if you're not talking to somebody, you can't answer questions, you can't provide all the information that they need in order to make their decision. So we do that through our canvassers, and we have a fabulous team of canvassers that work for us every year. They're very knowledgeable people, and they help us out a lot, and the success of our campaign is really dependent on those people.
Neat. Now, workplace campaigns, you've both mentioned it, so I would think that it's quite important to that, because if you have someone who has a job, it implies some sort of security and some, hopefully a paycheck. So how important is payroll deductions rather than one-time gifts? Or is there a difference?
Well, by payroll deduction is an excellent way to make the donation. I do that myself through our employer with SR, and it's not too bad. Actually, we're a leadership donor, and because we lead by example, we got a cabinet of 17, which includes the chair, myself, and our vice chair, who's Bud Wildman, and that team put together. And so we do an employee donation through payroll. And it's $41 a pay, and our family doesn't really miss it that much. and it's a good way to make a contribution. You get it's right on your check stub, and so it's an excellent way to make a donation. I find it the best myself.
Good for you, and that is a very generous donation.
Certainly we appreciate any donations, and one-time donations are certainly very much appreciated as well. The payroll deduction, as Joe says, it's easier to make a contribution. It could be a small amount each pay period, which seems like a small amount to the individual, but when you collect it across the community, it's a lot of money, and it goes a long way to help a lot of people.
So great, and there are so many people that benefit from it.
Yes.
What should people do if they're watching this show and they'd like to give?
The one thing that we should mention is about the increase in demand that's needed in the Sioux. One of them is it's like 30 or 40% that we have with our Community Assistance Trust. Over the past couple of years, it's increased that much, and it's for basically to help people with rent and their utilities and things like that. So that's how significant it is to make the donation, because there is an actual increase in people requesting the assistance that's needed. So
That cost of living is going up, and it is tough economic times for many.
Yes, and with things like the HST coming in, that has impacted people on their fuel bills and things like that as well. But certainly, if United Way is in someone's workplace, ask the questions of the canvassers and make a donation that way would be appreciated. For someone that has not had an opportunity to make a donation yet, they're welcome to call the United Way at our office at 7A Oxford Street. The number is 256-7476, or they can visit our website, www.ssmunitedway.ca, and there is a means of online donation there.
Powerful.
Yes.
Well, I thank you both for what you're doing. I know it's just transforming so many lives and making such a difference, and I thank you, especially in this season of giving, to see real people supporting others.
It's our
Great.
pleasure.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. We've been here on Daytime with Susan Hunter, and today we're talking about the United Way. So please give through either your workplace or one-time donations by calling 256-7476 or visiting ssmunitedway.ca. Thanks for joining us.